Hey guys, what's up? It's Trunks and welcome to Clash of Saiyans. On today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at farming massive amounts of loot in Titans. I'm going to be showing you a few replays with loot scores, including the bonus topping over 1 million loot per raid, and this one right here, which was my biggest score ever, coming in with over 2 million in loot. I am also going to be showing you the troop composition I use, the total amount the troops cost to make, why is this one of the best farming strategies at Town Hall 11, and how to scout a base in the 30 seconds to decide if the base is right for you. But first off, let's talk about leagues. I have farmed in Masters, Champions, and now Titans, and so far Titans has been the best for me. In Masters and Champions, I was typically finding bases with a total of 500 to 600,000 loot with a lower loot bonus at the end. But in Titans, I'm finding bases with over 600,000 to 1 million total in loot, and then receiving a 300,000 loot bonus at the end of each raid. Now that's pushing up my totals extremely high, and the loot bonus covers my troops' spells and then a little extra. Now some would argue also that in Titans the time spent in the clouds is not worth it, but I would argue with that statement. When I was farming in Champions, I was finding bases slightly faster, maybe 5 to 15 seconds in between bases, but the quality and the amount of loot was far less. In Titans, I am waiting about 10 to 30 seconds in between searches, but I am finding massive amounts of loot, which is maximizing my time spent since I am not always boosting. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into the troop composition for this. As you can see in my queue right now, I have a Hound, 30 minions, 30 balloons. I typically request a Hound in my clan castle and then a balloon, and I will typically get a rage spell for the spell that I'm asking for. If you have a bigger clan that can provide you free spells, typically I would ask for that, but in mine I don't have as many Town Hall 10s or 11s that can donate me that max free spell, so I typically make that for myself and then just request a rage spell since anybody in my clan can provide that to me. But we'll go ahead and jump over and look at the cost of this raid to show why it is good. It only costs about 250,000 elixir and then about 1,400 dark elixir for the spells and the troops itself. Now this is a whole lot better than the baby dragon strategy that you see underneath the Army 2 composition, where the dark elixir is really low, but the elixir cost is over 500,000. So that attack, while you can net some big dark elixir, you're using a ton of elixir, and that's going to decrease the net cost. So if you're new Town Hall 11, working to get into some of the upgrades fairly quick, working on the new hero levels to level 45, or just trying to get your Grand Warden up, that strategy would not allow you to level up your Grand Warden, as you would constantly be using all of your elixir. But this strategy, as you can see, does not cost as much elixir, so you will be saving elixir and you'll be spending a little bit of dark, which is fine because you're going to be netting huge amounts. As you can see, I'm coming in on this one with close to 4,400 or 500 dark elixir, and then you're going to add on the loot bonus that I'm receiving in the end, which pretty much will cover the troop cost. So I'm going to be making out probably close to about 5,000 dark elixir on this raid, and then I will be netting pretty much all the resources that you see that are available. Now some of these bases you will, once in a blue moon, get lucky up in Titans. There are some dead bases, but the other key thing that's big about farming in Titans is there are a lot of people that have already maxed out their bases. So you'll find a lot of bases where they may have the maxed out defenses, but they're going to be sitting on full storages, and you can capitalize by taking that loot from them because they are not using it. Where if you're down in Masters, Champions, trying to farm as a Town Hall 11, there's going to be other people working on their upgrades as well, which means they're going to be spending their loot, making it less loot available for you to grab. Once again, that loot bonus will be lower as well, so that's not going to be as good for you, unless if you are boosting, your time is going to be valuable. because the troops take about 45 minutes to make, which works perfectly fine with the hero cooldown time if you have that, because the hero cooldown time is roughly about 45 to 50 minutes. So if you're just waiting and making this and hitting like I typically do, where you will throw down one raid and then go do something, maybe watch a TV show and then come back and throw down another one, this strategy is perfect because the troop time, or the time that it costs, the time for the troops to make is equivalent to the time it will be for you to get your heroes back. But I'll go ahead and show you guys a few more replays and basically now discuss the strategy that I am using. You've kind of seen what I do so far, but typically if you have the heroes, one of your objectives should be is to scout first where is the queen, the air defenses, the sweeper, and the eagle. The longer the eagle stays up, the less likely you will be able to get a 3-star, which you don't have to 3-star every base we are farming. You want to try to grab as much loot as possible. But if you can get in and either get an air defense or 2, or get the queen out of the way with your heroes if you have them available, then that is going to be a huge asset for you. And then from there, I will put down a couple haste spells and then do a 3 or 4 finger drop, however many you can get on the screen. Just get those balloons down with the haste spells there, so that way they will get into the first section of the base. Then I will drop the hounds behind them. I don't drop the hounds first because I don't want them getting halfway across the base before my balloons can even get inside of the base to start working on those defenses. If you lose 1 or 2 balloons at the start to the outside towers, that's not going to be a big deal. From there, I will follow up with the Grand Warden behind, so that way I know he will stay with the balloons. And then I will come in with the minions behind. Their objective is to begin snagging all of the loot. As you can see, once the balloons start clearing the path, it is a little bit of a spam attack, but this is farming, so it doesn't have to be completely precise. One of the other big things I typically try to avoid on this style of attack is taking on both infernos at the same time. If you can take on one at a time, then usually you can hold the Grand Warden ability until you have gotten further into the base a little bit, and then once you're encountering that first Inferno Tower, you can go ahead and pop that ability. Usually about the second Eagle landing is when you want to pop that ability. Your troops at that point will be roughly taking on that first Inferno, and then I try to save the second, or the free spell actually, for the second Inferno. On bases like this, like I said, you will find some dead bases sometime, which are very nice. You can use the free spell to either freeze the queen, you can freeze an air defense, anything you want just to get the job done. But like I said, the 3 haste spells, 2 or 3 haste spells, given on how you funnel the base with your heroes in the beginning, to get those troops into the base. Then I will come with 2 rage spells to lead right into that first Inferno Tower and to get my troops through the base, and then typically we'll have a rage spell on the core just to make sure that I get that Eagle, the Inferno Towers down relatively quick. Don't let them do too much damage, and then you will have 2 haste spells left over. At that point, see where your balloons are going, and then try to haste them for maximum value to get them across the base, so that way you can secure as much as possible. But basically, these are the strategies that I'm using. Farming up in Titans, finding big amounts of loot. Like I said, you want to, when scouting the bases, look for the queen, the sweepers, because you don't want to take them on head to head or have your troop or your balloons blown all over the base. Also look for where are the air defenses. Sometimes you can find a base where 1 or 2 of the air defenses are being upgraded, and maybe coming in at the air defenses that are not being, or the air defenses that are not being upgraded, taking those out first could allow you in the end to have your hounds stay up longer, allowing you to secure more of the base and gather more loot. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up things for today. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the bottom. I will answer anything you guys throw at me to the best of my ability. But until next time, guys, this is Trunk signing out.